For me, of course, it has a huge effect on my career.
In like 8 years, I went from, had never even heard of Ignition to now running a successful business.
We created a powerhouse, right, with Ignition from people who were straight out of college.
If you happen to have even 1 year of experience actually implementing Ignition, seriously, there will be companies fighting over you.
Our hiring process has changed where we're specifically calling out Ignition expertise.
It kind of helps my chances of getting somebody excited about the role, being able to tell them that you're going to be able to develop an Ignition.
You had a lot of people ready for something different in the industrial automation.
Ignition has allowed us to grow in our solutions that we're able to provide to customers.
I was building production applications in something that just came out of its beta.
We flew out to Arizona on a Wednesday, and by Thursday afternoon, we had a fully deployed OEE system monitoring 4 assembly lines.
We've been able to provide features that are asked for and requested.
There was a very solid line between the IT world and the controls world. Now that line is completely obliterated, right? It's gone.
What Ignition did was kind of open up everybody's minds.
The only limit is the creativity that you have.
Once they get Ignition in place, it spreads like a virus, but in a good way.
It's changed the way that I communicate with customers.
We're really starting to open those doors where clients were previously terrified of custom code and applications that were unsupportable.
And you put Ignition in there, and that changed everything.
A lot of customers still write things down on papers, have spreadsheets, type everything in, and then they do some analysis. We can automate that.
It's about giving value, giving new information, new data, even if a customer hasn't asked for it.
Before Ignition, the conversation with the customer were about limitation. The question now is, what problem you need to solve?
Customer was so blown away that the next question was, how fast can you deploy this to the rest of our company?
Everyone is sharing what they've done in the past, and everyone is taking that, innovating on top of it, making it better.
When I saw the feedback on LinkedIn from someone from Australia, that I say, what? My resource is used in Australia? It's like, come on.
It's been kind of interesting to be the customer that kind of like pushed some of these integrators towards Ignition.
Why would you use 10 different pieces of software when none of them do exactly what you want, when you could build it exactly how you want?
A lot was changing throughout the project. It was a very tight timeline, and I do not think that that project would have been possible without Ignition.
I swear we're not supposed to be doing the things we're doing, but Ignition is so flexible, it just allows us to do it.
Yeah, Ignition is a great solution because it's not tailored to any one industry.
This is fundamentally what I think is a shift and really a game changer in the industry.
Kind of shocked me a little bit is that Ignition is already almost everywhere. So
Ignition was working its way into that education space in a place that I don't think 2 years ago you would have ever seen.
It was exciting to see new talents being amazed by the power of the tool they were learning at the classroom.
His first day back, he was like, oh, by the way, I finished the Inductive University. When can I get certified? I was like, what?
We did projects for really big companies in Europe.
So many people, they come from Australia and India and Sweden and Norway and Ecuador.
It's crazy kind of see how far that software has gone.
And Canada and Mexico and all over the US.
Keep pushing the boundaries of what is actually possible with Ignition. How far can this thing go?
I was actually the first person at DMC to learn Ignition.
I think I was the first hire to actually go through Inductive University.
As far as I know, we were one of the first customers.
I was the first Ignition programmer at AT Automation.
It was a new world for me. I wasn't taught this stuff in school.
I just went to Google and I Googled off-the-shelf MES.
When I joined Vertec, they had done 0 Ignition projects.
When the outbreak happened, I was in Italy with an equipment vendor.
And the Amazon jungle, teaching Ignition.
I knew your entire support staff on a first-name basis.
That was the point at which I turned to my wife and I said, we've got a huge opportunity.
What do you think the ignition effect is?
That's a good question.